I am going to take you through a short tutorial on how to utilize the online formulary guide or medication guide that will show you how all of your medications are covered for your Florida Blue policy. So the first thing that you're going to do is you are going to go to a website, and that website is located in the email confirmation that was sent to you upon the completion of your application. The website is going to be myprime.com. Now when you go to MyPrime, you are going to have a few choices. Now you are going to want to register to use MyPrime at some point in time or another, but for today and for this tutorial we are going to utilize the option of continue without signing in. Now in your confirmation email, what you're going to do is it has some basic instructions. We are going to select our health plan from the drop down box. So we will come down to Florida Blue. Now if you are a Medicare Advantage client, then you would select Part D as yes, but for this tutorial we are going to say no, because that is for our Affordable Care Act members and our standard traditional under 65 members. And then you will click Continue to MyPrime. Now once you get to the MyPrime website, as you see here, we've selected our plan. We are going to click on Find Medicines. And we are going to be asked a question, and that is going to be, what formulary list are we going to be utilizing? From the drop-down box, you are going to select the VBD Formulary, and you will click Submit. Now this formulary list will be used for both on and off marketplace plans, and it will be the same formulary list for all of our under 65 Blue Cross Blue Shield of Florida policies, to include Blue Options, Blue Select, and the Blue Care networks. Once I find that I have selected the Florida Blue VBD formulary, now I can type in my medications here to see how they will be covered. So let's start with an insulin. Now what you could do is you start typing in your medication, and if you're not sure of the spelling, you can just go slow. Take a look at your bottles that you may have for your current prescriptions and look for them in the list. So for example, if I was taking the Humalog Quick Pen, I would select that. Then I would select the package size and how often I am doing this. Click Submit. Now at this point you can see I have the medication name, I have the dosage, I can see here that it is on the drug list, and I can see that this is a condition care valued brand. Now with that, I know that I am going to get more favorable treatment for this particular medication. Because we have a condition care program that will treat favorably our medications that are for high blood pressure treatment, cholesterol, diabetes, asthma, or mental or nervous conditions. So any medications that are going to treat those conditions will be represented as a condition care program. Let me show you another example. If, for example, I was taking metformin, come down, find my metformin, again select my package size, click Submit, and I will see that this is a condition care value generic. And based on the plan that I've selected, it will be treated as defined in that plan. And I'll show you an example of that in a moment. For all of our condition care value generic medications, they will be free via our mail order and $4 from a retail pharmacy. So if a medication was for asthma, I would also see this condition care. Now if we were looking for a medication that does not treat one of those conditions, and if for example I'm looking at Zithromax, select my package size, I can see here that this is a preferred brand, So it is covered on the formulary, and it will be treated as a preferred brand, again, as listed in your summary of benefits, which we will cover in a moment. Now, many people ask me, why do we have a total cost here? You could ignore the total cost because with our Affordable Care Act plans, it is not necessary to look at that total cost. Unless, of course, you have purchased one of our HSA style plans or a plan that is not going to be covered until post-deductible, do you have to look at the total cost. And I will show you how that works in just one moment. So if we were going to see how these are effectively treated on a plan, let's pull up a plan benefit summary so you can see how these things are listed. So one of our most popular programs is going to be our 1443C. So what I'd like to do right now is bring up a summary of benefits for a 1443C, so that way you understand on how this drug treatment is going to be for these examples. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at how the medications are treated, which is going to be on page 4 of your summary of benefits. And you can see here we have our Tier 1, Tier 2, Tier 3, and Tier 4. Now, as defined in this example, you will see that our preventative oral contraceptives are going to be at a 0 copay. The condition care medications would have a $4 copay at the retail, and all other generics would be $4 in this example. Mail order, a 3-month supply, at $10. But many a times we cannot identify which medication is going to be a condition care medication, and that's why we would want to come to our MyPrime website and access this search to know whether that's going to be a condition care medication. So if we go back here, and if we were taking our metformin, we now know that the metformin is going to be a generic medication, and it is a condition care drug, and therefore you would be responsible for a $4 copay. If we were taking the insulin, as we had seen earlier, that is going to be a brand name medication, and in this example, the condition care treatment would be $8 for that brand name medication. Now, if we were talking about the Zithromax, let's go back and take a look. You can see the Zithromax is a preferred brand, and the Zithromax in this example would be a preferred brand, which is going to be a $10 copay. If we were talking about a non-preferred brand, that would be a Tier 3, represented by $30, or specialty drugs, in this example, again, represented by $75. Now, many of us may not like to use the computer, and that's completely understandable. And at the bottom of this screen, as well as attached in your document of information when you had purchased your plan, we included a link to the formulary guide, a paper guide that you can use to check your medications. So if we were looking at this paper guide, I would like to give you an example and make sure that you understand how to read the paper formulary. Now, the paper formulary is going to be a little bit more difficult to represent which drugs are in condition care because there is a specific list of that. So if you are looking to identify specific condition care medications, my advice would be to utilize the online directory. You can also feel free to contact your agent so they can go through that with you as well. But there are some medications that are going to have special treatment. For example, if it is a specialty drug, you will be able to see it here represented with an X located where it says specialty drug. If that medication needs prior authorization, and that means that the doctor must write a note and fill out a form to do so, it will be represented here. Now, this will also be represented if we are looking in the guide. So, for example, if I was taking the medication here, and I select my package size, I will have a nice little message showing that it is a non-preferred brand. Okay? And you can see that that one is rather expensive. But because this is a non-preferred brand, then we know that that non-preferred brand, even though it is an $1,100 medication, will be treated based on this plan selection under a $30 copay. Now that will vary from plan to plan, so please reference your summary of benefits to see exactly how it will be treated. But that particular medication is going to need prior authorization, meaning that your doctor will have to send an authorized note to Florida Blue in order to have that medication completed. Now, you may also experience something that is quantity limits. Now, in the event that you are having a medication that has the dot next to quantity limits, that means that the FDA has set forth certain parameters of a particular medication that is deemed appropriate for the treatment of certain situations. And therefore, I like to use the example of OxyContins these days. If your doctor wanted to prescribe to you 600 OxyContins on a monthly basis, you would need special authorization because there are quantity limits for that medication. The last thing that could cause you to not get your medication filled as you would like would be Responsible Steps program. Now, with the Responsible Steps program, what happens is that you must try less expensive drugs before you try a more expensive drug. And if we come down, we'll be able to find one. And with the Responsible Steps program, and if you've already made those changes and you've already tried that, other medications for treatment, then you do not need to do it again. However, your physician will need to fill out a form so that way he can state that you've already tried these other medications, whether it be with another carrier or other insurances, but they will have to inform Florida Blue that you've done that already. So, for example, if it was this medication that we see here, you can see here it is listed with the Responsible Steps program, and your doctor would have to write a note about that. Now, one way that you can find that information, it is located here in the paper formulary, as well as the documents that your doctor would have to fill out. The prior authorization forms can be found right in this PDF, and this was attached in your thank you letter. Responsible Quantity program also listed in the paper formulary. All of these documents are also can be found in and on the MyPrime website, so you will be able to access them here as well. Now, as you can see in the summary of benefits, there is more favorable treatment when you are getting a 3-month mail order supply for your medications. Now, in order to set up mail order, you would want to utilize the MyPrime Mail website. If you go and you type in MyPrime Mail, the link also located in your thank you note, here you can come in and you can set up and register so that way you can complete and obtain all of your medications through our mail order pharmacy, Prime Mail. Now, if you do not have a copy of your summary of benefits, please feel free to contact your agent so that way we can provide you with that. And we are here to help you in any way that we can in properly understanding your plan and how your plan will function. We find that most situations that come up that negatively impact our member is just because you have lack of education based on how to access the tools and the plan itself, and making sure you have a good understanding of how you will access the cost of your medications. I want to thank you for watching this tutorial, and we thank you for your business.